Welcome to Reporter Room. My name is Jessica Della Davies. I'm an investigative journalist, and today I'm going to be interviewing Crackin Cases, Kim and Alli, to learn more about what's going on up at 110 Ben Hill Road and the surrounding properties. I want to welcome them to the show. I haven't seen them yet, but I'm hoping they'll be here momentarily. I just do want to take a quick second and explain that Reporter Room is a journalistic channel. So I'm not an advocate. I am seeking the truth and I am seeking justice, which means I'm going to have guests on with varying points of view that you may or may not agree or disagree with. But what I'm hoping is that, and I know our viewers at Reporter Room, our subscribers tend to be open-minded, and we're interested in finding the truth wherever that may lead. And I hope you will join us in the quest by subscribing to Reporter Room. If you want to join the top chat, you do need to be subscribed for 1 minute. This is to keep out people who are just coming by to troll. I want to thank all of my subscribers. Hi, Facebook user. And I want to thank all of our subscribers for making this channel possible. I am grateful to each and every one of you. I want to thank our channel members. I also want to thank our producers. Who are Energy Shots and Sasha Angel. And without you, none of this would be possible. I also want to thank our mods, Lady CG and Sasha Angel. I'm really grateful for your time and efforts today to keep our chat classy. So everything that I'm going to share with you and everything that my guests are going to share with you is our opinion, and opinions are not facts. So please don't send any negativity to anyone, anytime, anywhere. And any recordings that I use in this interview fall under the Fair Use Act for educational purposes. So with that, if you would give me a thumbs up to help me with the YouTube algorithm. And I am just waiting for Crackin Cases, Kim and Alli, to join us. I have worked really hard to put this interview together, and I'm really excited to have them as our guests, and they are here. Please help me welcome our special guests, Kim and Alli from Crackin Cases.
Hi, how are you?
Hi.
Welcome. I'm so glad you guys are here. Crackin Cases, for those of you that don't know, have some unique insights into the Summer Wells case. They actually have footage on their channel that you're going to want to go check out after this live stream is over of the Summer Wells property of 110 Ben Hill Road. They also have a lot of really good footage of like where Jodie Sue's mailbox is in proximity to the Wells driveway, footage that most of us do not have. And so this is one of the main reasons I want to bring them on. They have unique insights into this case. So if you are not subscribed to Crackin Cases, you will want to be. If you would give this a thumbs up, and let's get started. So I'm so glad you guys are here. I heard that you broke your foot. How are you doing, Alli?
I'm doing okay. I'm wearing a big, huge boot, but it's okay.
Well, I hope you feel better, and I really appreciate you guys being here in spite of all of that, because that breaking a bone, it's very painful.
Yeah.
So got storms going on out here too today. So
you do?
Yeah, that's why we were a little late. But if our internet goes in and out, we can't help that. We're trying.
We'll just bring you back. Don't worry. And you guys have a brand new microphone. I really like it. It looks really nice.
Oh, thank you. Trying to keep it out of the middle of the screen.
So tell me, you guys know Candus Bly and Don Wells. How do you know them?
We didn't meet them until after Summer went missing. They invited us up on the property to come and film some of the trails and things that had been looked over by other people that had been up there on the property.
Well, I'm grateful for your getting that footage for all of us to see, because it is really helpful when you're trying to figure things out and you're going through what different people have said, to be able to actually see what the foliage is like, what the trails are like, what the proximity is like. For example, in one of the videos, they show Kim, who's wearing a bright blue shirt, in the bushes. And you know what? From a little way down the road, you cannot see him at all. So I found that to be very, very interesting and helpful. And so you got to know them at the beginning of the case. So do you guys think, and I'll start with, I'm going to just go to one and then the other because I want to hear both of your opinions. So I'll start with you, Kim. Do you think it's possible that Summer wandered away?
I do. I do think it's possible because we had heard early on that this wasn't the first time that she had walked off that property. Now, Dawn and Candace never said that. They were very adamant that she never would. But then again, in the same breath, they'll say, well, boys have walkie-talkies. They have 11 acres. And I'm sure if they're sending these 3 boys off, I'm sure Summer had followed them, and went with her brothers before too. So, and if they're, it's very obvious, Candace and Dawn, but Candace more so is, she's not the helicopter mom she wanted everybody to think she was. They live out in the middle of nowhere. She probably did let them just run and do what they wanted to. So why wouldn't Summer, especially if they slept in later, just whatever, she gets up and wants to go do her own thing outside. Yeah, so I do think it's possible, but I also think that there's a lot more people up there on that property too that weren't mentioned.
And we're going to talk about that today. We are
Yeah.
going to talk about that today. Alli, what do you think? Do you think Summer wandered away, or what do you think happened on June 15th?
I mean, there's really just so much that I don't know. I think it is possible that she wandered away. They said, Dawn said himself and Candace that, she would walk out that basement door and sit there and play in that little area. And we all know that she loved her swing. So we don't know, it's possible that she walked out that door and she wandered off. I also think it's possible that she could have walked out the door and somebody snatched her.
Well, it's just the reason too. Law enforcement, they put emphasis on that part every time.
The very real possibility
that she
wandered off.
Every time they talk, it's just there's more emphasis on that when they talk about it. So,
and if you go back to June 16th and you look at Brianna Morias, I hope I'm saying her name correctly, from WJHL, she said, and I quote, investigators say at least 3 other children were present in the Summer Wells home, and I'm assuming that she's talking about the boys. And they were present in Summer Wells' home when she reportedly walked out of the back door, the sheriff tells me. He said this report came from the Wells siblings. So that was reported out on June 16th. So I think you are right. I think she did, it's very possible that she wandered out the back door, or at least was outside when something happened, which makes a lot more sense, because I think one of the most horrifying things about this case has been the idea that a child could go missing right from inside her own home.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm really of the same mindset as Kim and Alli as far as like YouTube creator drama. I would like to bring it down. And I just want to play you a nice clip from their show that I thought, supported that, which is that we are all here to find Summer.
That's right.
So let me just play this for y'all.
Platform, and feel free, anybody, if you would like to come up and discuss things, if anybody would like to square things up, let's do it. That's what we're here for. Let's things happen, what's that called, when it's organically. This creators, the last few times that I've been able to have good discussions on lives with other creators was, it was not planned. It just happened. We start discussing things, and it's great things happen from it.
That's right. We all learn more if we're listening to each other. Wouldn't you guys agree?
That's true.
Absolutely.
Very
and
true.
I think that so you guys initially stood up for Jodie Sue's son because he wasn't seen on the Wells property until a month and a half or so after Summer was reported missing. And now that's kind of coming back around. What's your thought on that? And I'll go to you first, Alli.
I mean, we just really wanted to, in the beginning say, even though he was seen by 6 different people on their property, but
Well, just put it this way. Put it like, well, why so this information wasn't new to us. We just
Right.
we didn't talk about it.
we had known about it since pretty much when it happened.
Right. Another creator brought it out. So
Right.
when that first came out, I was just, you can go on from there though. It's what happened. Go. I'm gonna.
Kim, I'm going to ask you too. So I'm going to go for do one.
Right.
And
I
then
just
the other.
wanted. She
don't
wasn't
worry.
involved with that morning,
Yeah.
and
Oh.
that's why I was trying to. That when all that happened that morning, she was working. I think. Or no, what happened? You
No.
were with your mom.
Yes, I went to the
With her.
appointment.
That's when
So
she broke
Kim-
her.
Kim, it sounds like you'd be more comfortable answering that one. So what are you thinking on that? Because there's, that's, a lot of people are bringing that up this week. I've been seeing a lot of YouTubers, including Michelle After Dark, who's gone from considering Jodie Sue a witness to a person of interest. Do you agree with that? Or
I do, because
your thought?
the reason why is when that came out from that other creator, I even though I knew about the situation way back when it, right after it happened, because we were on the Wells property the end of August for the first time, and that happened at the beginning of August
in the middle.
and the middle of August. So we were informed about that, but it was told, not to discuss it. But that day when that information was made public, I even went out and said, look, let's be careful. Let's not throw blame on him. Let's be, there could be any reason that he was up there. But
right, he could just be doing his own snooping or investigation, because it was, to be clear, what dates was he seen on Ben Hill Road?
Well, the ones that are confirmed by actual witnesses was the 1st of August and the 15th.
Okay, so that was after Summer disappeared.
Right.
Yes.
Right. Okay, go ahead.
Sorry, my daughter's trying to walk.
Aw.
Well, you need your charger? Okay, hold on. There you go.
And if you guys want to join the Chop Chat, you just need to be subscribed for 60 seconds. We're just trying to keep the chat classy, because I do show it on the air.
Right. Well, okay, so we did that. I did that, and I went on a panel and spoke in defense of him in a way, and we immediately were attacked by Jodie Sue. Immediately. The one only besides the channel I was on, I'm not mentioning that name, but Jodie Sue started discrediting the witnesses and calling them everything under the sun, tweakers, and they were intoxicated. They were chasing people that weren't there in the middle of the night. I'm like, whoa! She put out actually a video saying this was the time. It was a nighttime video,
And it was in September.
and it was in September that she said. I said, why are you so defensive of this? And it was things just started, red flags started coming up. That she came after me, made up just a blatant lie. I was like, whoa, I'm going to step back, and now I'm going to reevaluate things, because with everybody's seen, if you've paid attention to some of the things that have been said by the neighbor, you're like, why? It's weird. But, I really even tried to be respectful and not even go that route. But now that I think everybody's kind of looking at that, why the deflection? Why the change of stories? Not just one time, multiple times. Then it brings into question this, so why did, the law enforcement say that scream was unfounded? No foundation or basis in fact is what they're saying. That's the BS pretty much. Yeah, they, why?
Yeah,
why would
that's,
they do that?
that's a great point.
Yeah, I questioned that for the longest time. I always even said, how can they say 3 people didn't hear what they heard?
Right. We basically took up for that. We were like, why are they saying that they didn't hear that? They weren't there. How do they know that they didn't hear that? But now it kind of wonder, after as fast as she was to make up lies on us, especially. So, and
then the witnesses, not just one, 6 of them, 3 on one day and 3 on another day. all of whom didn't know each other.
Right.
So 3 witnesses saw him on the 1st, and 3 witnesses saw him on the 15th.
Yeah.
Now, this was after Summer disappeared, and at least one of these was after the boys were removed.
Yeah.
Right.
The first one wouldn't have been, but the second one maybe could have been around that same time.
What I thought.
I
Do
think
you
they were
know?
both after the boys were moved. I think the boys were moved in early July. I
No,
think
Okay.
the late
It was-
middle
It
July.
would have been
Late to
July.
middle, okay.
Yeah.
So, and he could have just been on there, like a lot of people,
Yeah.
just trying to figure out what's going on, or just trying to,
But he
Looky
had
Lou.
permission though. That's the
but
thing.
he
It was-
didn't have the permission.
No, he did.
Oh, he
would have
did.
if he had.
When
Do you want to
Candace,
clarify that?
Yeah.
He did not have permission to be on the property where he was seen because he was essentially snooping around. If he had just walked up that driveway, Candace wouldn't have had a problem with him being on her property.
he had permission to
Yeah.
be on that property.
Right.
So why the, you know,
Why snoop around?
but he was seen 3 times running back and forth, setting off the driveway alarm. Like they would see him and he would disappear. Well,
And
the
if
third,
you go to Cam and Alli's channel, Crackin Cases, you'll have, they have footage where you can see the Summer Wells driveway, and you cannot see Jodie Sue's driveway or her mailbox from the driveway of the Summer Wells house, and they prove that to you in their video. So it could have been that he was snooping around, or it could be something more. And we definitely need to keep everything open because we don't know. And as you know, Sheriff Lawson has not ruled anyone out.
that's right.
Right.
Well, we
And-
actually brought those witnesses up to tell their account too. Just on our channel, we have interviews with all of them. On the second interviews we had, it was all 3. Well, 2 of the people. They were a mother and 2 daughters that were on August 1st. That were the witnesses of that. But we brought that was our way to even try to bring a clearer look at things. I was like, well, since this is made public, let's go to the source of the claim. So we went to the witnesses and brought them up.
And we showed a picture of Jodie Sue's son to one of the daughters that was there on the 1st, and to the man that was there on August 15th. And the man, and I don't think the daughter had really seen. I don't know if we asked her that, if she had seen him like on the news or anything, but the man that saw him on August 15th had never seen him other than on the day on August 15th when he saw him in those woods.
Almost 10 months ago. So
right. And
immediately
we
said, yes, that's him.
We showed him a picture and he said, that's who I saw.
If you're just joining us, I'm interviewing Cam and Alli from Crackin Cases. They have unique insight and really good footage on their channel. You'll definitely want to go check their channel out. And if you're not subscribed to Crackin Cases, you'll want to be. And please also give this video a thumbs up to help us with the YouTube algorithm, and subscribe to Reporter Room. So Jodie Sue said that the search dog stopped at her feet. What do you think she meant by this, Cam?
Okay. Yeah, this is always this. Everybody wondered this one. This is what really made people's radars go crazy, is because not only did she say the dog stopped at her feet, she said that she got into the creek to keep her scent down off the banks.
Do you know what day she was in the creek? Was that the day Summer disappeared, when she was out
Yeah,
helping search, or
June 15th.
June 15th? Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
So after this, the dog's alerted on her, stopped at her feet. This is out her own mouth. And there's, we played that too, that clip of her saying it. After she gets in a creek where she claims there was dirty syringes and everything, she gets in there and walks through it. And then says, after that the dogs come down the driveway and stop at her. When people start questioning that, then she said those search dogs were like the worst of the worst. It's that's the kind of stuff that makes you wonder.
Like, how can you discredit search dogs? I mean,
yeah, there was over 60. So I'll be 100 and what search agencies that came 110, and I think there was more after that. I think there was even a higher number, but just say out of 110, that 60 of them had search dogs. So, and that's
Okay.
when the
So
first
there were a
initial
lot
search.
of dogs that were searching
Yes,
for
lots,
summer
and
that
they're
day.
some of the best in on the East Coast because they're all from multiple states. Um, they for 13 days they did everything they could. You can I go a little farther than that? Now, we also show where she took her dogs on walks while they were doing this, and that's we actually had a dog handler that worked. She's from Alabama, and she's a search SAR dog handler, search and
Mm.
rescue dog handler, and we brought her up to ask her about that, and she said if that happened in Alabama, she would be in jail.
Mhm.
She said because that is
And she said you would lose your dog.
you would lose your dog because and she has, mind you, a humongous bull mastiff, which
That-
is an aggressive dog too, by the way.
Yeah, that we were told that he was highly aggressive.
Highly aggressive.
And we're not saying that all dogs of that breed are aggressive, but hers
Right.
specifically.
Yeah. So, and that her dogs actually got in a fight with the search and rescue dogs. Why?
wow.
Yeah, she lives up on the very top of a ridge. So I'm sorry. In my opinion, I feel like you know what you're doing if you're going to take your dog on a walk at that certain time. It's not
And
kosher.
it could be that the dog just, that's the regular time, but it's,
No.
there's got to be other places. I mean, it's a big area, big rural area to walk the dog. So,
Yeah.
Right.
So in your opinion, and everything that Kim, Alli, and I are sharing is our opinion, and opinions are not facts.
That's right.
So please don't send any negativity to anyone, anytime, anywhere. So in your opinion, Alli, do you think Jodie Sue had a motive to distract the search dogs, or do you think it was just, not really thinking it through because, maybe she didn't know?
I don't know. I mean, I know that the text message where she said she was taking her dogs out, it was just odd the way that she said, "Oh, well, they're bringing new search dogs in today, so it's time to take my dog for a walk anyway."
Okay.
And yeah. So that's just why would you do that? It just doesn't make sense to me. And if
So if
you
you're-
know this is a 5-year-old child, like, why are you, I don't know. Why would you interfere with that?
Yeah.
What do you think, Kim?
My opinion's way different because I've really, since this all came out, this week's been a blur, however long it's been since that information came out. I really dug in and been looking into things, and it's just she's had an answer or a remark or for everything, and it's always
It's like she's tried to control the narrative from the beginning.
that's what it's looked like when you really dig in on this. It really becomes something else, and this is why you have creators like I'm not speaking for her, but in my opinion, Michelle After Dark, leaning in on this. She actually, she came over and was like, "Well, you guys might be onto something." And we were very close with Chasing Truth. We speak to her very often. I mean, she's been a very role model to us, and I try to, I guess, keep the integrity she uses for what she does, and we try to just model what we do kind of after how she does things. And it's been a blessing to be able to reach out to her. But when we've seen how certain people that do things right, do their research, and we've done that. It really starts to, when you start putting things together. Let's be honest about it. Where has every single person that has been, involved around the day of the 15th that actually was in contact with someone, where does their finger
End up
pointing at? Hunter says, the name when he's on with the interview with Chris McDonough, the name that, eventually becomes uncensored, Andy. That's Jodie Sue's husband. That's, and she immediately said, we were aware of this earlier. We don't know why H is saying his name, but it's like she already had a instant rebuttal for that. Then you have
And what Kim and Alli are referring to, if you're not familiar, is the interview that Chris McDonough did with H on Alli's porch. go ahead, Cam.
Right, and who he's talking about in that is, he makes the statement that
Candace got a phone call from Dawn saying that a man named Andy or Andrew had called and said that there was a man messing around trying to touch the kids.
he didn't say Andy had called. He said the boys
Well,
called
he
saying
said-
that there was a man named
Okay,
Andy,
Andrew, yeah.
Andy or Andrew. Yeah,
With the
So-
letter A.
Right.
With the
Right.
letter. And to just to, give both sides, Candace denies that this phone call occurred. She didn't know what
exactly.
Right.
she was
Yeah,
talking about.
right. And she also denies a lot. That's a whole different thing. There's also been, things like the footprints. They say they didn't know anything about.
We're going to talk about
November.
the footprints next. We're going to
Right.
get into that.
But yeah,
So-
before that, that, and I was just gonna say Fred Hill. That even though they said negative things about the Wells, who's that? Fred Hill's the neighbor. His family is what Ben Hill is named after. He lives out there. He knows, everybody's comings and goings through there. He points the finger at them, very hard. And this was months and months ago. He did an interview with another creator.
January, I think, wasn't
It
it?
was 4 months ago, I think, is what it's. Yeah.
So January.
So it's just it's been constant. That's where the the finger has been pointing, and out of Jodie Sue and her own mouth, she said that law enforcement has come and been interviewing even her kids up to just very recently, last week. Candace hasn't had it. There's not been law enforcement up there interviewing her. There's been multiple.
The last time law enforcement that we know of, and according to what Grandma said on the interview she did, the last time law enforcement was even on that property or in contact with them was December 10th when they came. Whenever
She said 14th, but it was
Right.
December 10th.
And she confirmed that with us later. She said, "Yeah, that's what I meant. Was whenever they came up there when the YouTubers were there, the protesters,
yeah.
and we were there that day when they were there, and law enforcement did not even bring up Summer.
Not one time, and neither did Candace bring up Summer to law
Right.
enforcement. It was, I filmed
Yeah.
that whole thing too. I've showed it a few times, but I filmed that just for
Thank you, Giselle. Sorry, I just wanted to.
No, you're
tell
fine.
people Thank you. Thank you so much, Giselle. Much appreciated. So, I just want to talk about the footprints for a minute. So, we know that there were footprints found around the Wells neighboring properties, and do you think that these bare footprints could belong to Summer then?
100% I do.
Yes, 100%. I believe that.
So how did they find these footprints? Can you share that with our viewers? Because you've talked to some of the searchers.
No, this guy. The reason we even know anything about it is the property owner.
At first,
it's on the 19th of June started posting.
in a Facebook group, a Summer Wells Facebook group.
We show all those screenshots from this property owner. He says, they search and rescue searched my property. It was later in the day. The dogs alerted on a scent, which deputies that later confirmed to be Summers, and said that it had to be within the time she had disappeared. So this is the 19th of June. So from somewhere in between 15th and the 19th.
And the law enforcement came to his property and asked what his children's shoe sizes were.
Yeah, they investigated
to be able to decide whether or not the size of it was a barefoot footprint. It wasn't a shoe footprint. It was a barefoot footprint. And if you go back to the very beginning, the Amber Alert and everything said that she was believed to be barefoot.
See this.
Right?
Yeah, this is the problem. I'll clear this up too, because I see some people in the chat saying this. No, law enforcement has not ever confirmed it or denied it, but we have EquiSearch, Dave Rader talk about it. We have let me try to think everything. I'm sorry, it's a lot.
And to be clear, when this neighbor tried to come forward and say that bare footprints had been found or footprint had been found on his property, he practically got shouted down by social media and took his post down on Reddit, from what I understand.
Yeah, it took everything
And
down. They doxed his children, doxed him. I mean, I actually came across a post today that I forgot that I had from him. He said, "I come out trying to bring credible information to try to keep everybody informed about a missing 5-year-old that lives just feet from them," and he
was treated so badly.
so badly, and he actually
that's too bad.
posted about it. So it's so bad. And but if people would do their own research, they can see Equus or Dave Rader don't talk a lot about it, but he says there was a humongous tip that happened on the night of the 19th, going into the 20th, morning of the 20th, early morning hours. Like I think he got into town in Kingsport 12 a.m. That'd be the morning of the 20th. He says search and rescue and law enforcement had a huge tip. They really thought they were going to actually find her. They put everything they had towards this area, and they came up with nothing. Now, this property owner doesn't just talk about prints found on his property. He says also on a neighboring property,
Right.
3/4 of a mile away. No scent path in between them. No footprint path in between. Just here's her scent. Here's a print with her scent on it on this property, and then 3/4 of a mile away, another print with scent.
So to be clear, the dogs alerted on the footprint.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. I just wanted the viewers to know that, because I think, if you're just joining us, this is Reporter Room. I'm a journalistic channel, and I cover true crime. And my guests today are Crackin Cases, Kim and Alli. And what we want to do is try, if you're looking for, if you have an open mind and are, interested in trying to find the truth of what happened, then that's what we're trying to do on this channel. It's a little bit different. If you're just looking for a confirmation bias then maybe this won't be the right channel for you. But I'm hoping that you will stick around and listen to what Kim and Alli have to say, because they do have a lot of information, because they live in the area, because they have had contact with Dawn and Candus about the footprints. They have talked with Dave Rader, and a lot of information that the rest of us cannot get. If you go to their channel and you look, you can see actual footage of where the Wells driveway is, where's Jodie Sue's mailbox, and all of that good stuff. Please subscribe if you and give this video a thumbs up to help us with the algorithm. And as I shared, please subscribe also to Crackin Cases. Everything we're sharing today is our opinion. And
I just
so
want to
why do you?
And that's add one thing to what you're saying.
Yeah.
We also, the reason we show footage, we were in pretty tight with the private investigators. We went on multiple searches with them. That's who we were searching with, and
they taught us how to properly do ground searches for missing people. So
yeah. So yeah, go ahead.
I also want to address Anna D said strange one footprint. It was not one footprint. There was two separate sets. One property there was 3 footprints that we know of, and on the other property there was 2.
Yeah.
So 3 separate footprints. The dogs alerted, and law enforcement made casts of these footprints. So they didn't just take this and dismiss it as being nothing. Is that correct?
No, that's
Alli?
right.
From our knowledge, yes, they made, from what we have been told by somebody very close to the case, they did make casts of those footprints.
Okay.
And you see how they do. If they don't like information that they feel is not true, they come out and said the scream was unfounded. They've never said anything about these prints. Never.
And Sheriff Lawson was very firm on that he felt like the scream, and then we're talking about the scream that Jodie Sue heard. He said that was unfounded, but nothing like that has been said about the 3 footprints that were found on several neighbors' properties that were alerted to by dogs, and that casts were made of the footprints.
No.
And these were bare footprints.
Right.
So if Summer wandered away, and we know now from Jose, who lived up at 110 Ben Hill Road, that Summer did wander, how could she have gotten how far do you think she could have gotten in that terrain? Y'all live there with bare feet, a little preschooler.
I will tell you, when I was a child, and Cam can vouch for this too, when he was a child, we ran around barefoot all the time. I could walk on gravel, I could walk on pavement, I could walk on anything. So it didn't bother my feet.
You have video. You have video. You have video proof that Summer, when running barefoot behind her brothers on a dirt bike, you can see that on gravel, on everything, full run. That's this. When you grow up here, you can traverse many kinds of terrain barefooted. So it's not uncommon here. People have questioned that. She also, we also have a daughter that is the same age as Summer is, and she, if she was to get out here outside and take off, she could cover ground.
Yeah. They
Lots
have
of
so much energy at that age.
Yeah.
And especially we know that Summer was allegedly napping whenever they came home that evening from Hunters and dropping him off. So we know that she, after my
from
daughter
the
takes
pictures
it,
in
right,
the back.
from the pictures and the TikTok video, but I know after my kids take a nap, they are ready to go again. They are full of energy. So
Raring to go.
yeah.
So you guys, it sounds like you think that she could have gotten pretty far. So I'm going to play another clip. I think this is really helpful for you guys, and then I'm going to.
Because from there I can keep tracks down.
This is Jodie Sue.
Because when you live in areas like ours, worst case scenario, you also know what happens if somebody can't be found. And you know that staying in the water keeps scent down for dogs.
Do you? What do you think about that, Alli?
I couldn't understand all of it that she said, but I can't hear.
Here, play. You care to play that again?
I just deleted it. I'm sorry.
Oh, so that was that clip where she's saying that you've heard it, where she says, when you live around here, when people go missing, that if you get in the creek, you get in the water, it keeps the scent down.
Oh yeah, no, that's not true.
I mean,
first of all, I mean,
she's a surveyor and everything.
Yeah, she's a geologist. She knows a lot of different trades, but that's a joke. But I don't.
What was the original question?
We know that. So law enforcement states that the scream that Jodie Sue and her kids heard, we talked about this a minute ago, were unfounded, but they've not said this about the bare footprints. So I just wanted to, just kind of play her own statement in her own words. So we don't know exactly when the bare footprints were made. We're not claiming that we do. No one here is saying that. But what we are just sharing with you, the information that's been purported by searchers and rescues. And as Kim and Alli, if you're just joining us, they're from Crackin Cases. They actually live in that area. They've been on the 110 Ben Hill Road property, and we're really grateful that they're here to share some of their information. They have really interesting video footage on their channel of the area of the 110 Ben Hill Road, of the looking at the school bus, of where Jodie Sue's mailbox is in relation to the Wells driveway. It's definitely worth checking out. Please consider checking them out and subscribing to their channel. Also, give this video a thumbs up. Help me with the YouTube algorithm, and subscribe to Reporter Room. So in one of your videos, Cam, you reference, quote, inside information in your video. Is this information from law enforcement? Is it from searchers? Is it from the Wells? Can you elaborate on that just a little bit, even if you can't share everything, because I don't want to compromise the case.
Which information? Which bit of information?
You said that it was inside information, and I think it was the video you posted day before yesterday.
Well, if it's in anything that we've talked about, what's been because we've talked to people that were that are licensed in the state of Tennessee. They run private investigators run their own investigation too. We knew. We were aware of things way before others were. We tried to tell certain things to be helpful, and it was
always wrote off.
It was always wrote off, or it said we've sat back through a lot of this case when things do come. We're like, I tried to tell you. That's and that's because we wanted to help, but we also don't want to ever share anything that would hurt, like you said, an investigation. But then again. Right. this case is very frustrating. So I'm human too, and I've made mistakes to even say things to try to push the envelope. Let's get answers, something. So I don't know which video you were saying that was on, but if I said that, I don't, anything that I'll tell you, I try to show why I said that and how I'm saying that. I'd like to always have something to back it up. Um, but anything that I share, like I said just now, I will try to have something to back it up and show you that this is why I'm saying that. This is right here in something tangible, not just my word for it. Excuse me.
Have you guys found it to be frustrating when you aren't necessarily going with the flow? Because I do feel like there's some like a flow that goes on YouTube where it's,
Yeah.
we're investigating one thing, now we're investigating another thing. When you guys are going against the tide, have you just felt like sometimes you just feel overwhelmed? Like you're just, screaming into the wind or trying to nail Jello to the wall?
Absolutely. For a long time, and it's still this way a lot of the times. And we have never said that Dawn and Candace are innocent or that we believe that they are innocent, but we have always tried to show, there's a whole lot more people that you need to look at in this case other than just Dawn and Candace. And it seems like for the majority of this case, everybody has only wanted to focus on them and place blame on them. And so a lot of times we got a lot of backlash for, speaking about the other people. We got told, oh, you're just deflecting for the Wells. You're just trying to make them, innocent where
You're
shouldn't.
just trying to go down the rabbit holes to find out what has
Right.
happened to this baby. And I can see that you guys are good-hearted people and that you really do care about finding
Thank you.
somewhere. So one of the Wells sheds has a basement. Kim, can you tell me a little bit about that? There's been a lot of speculation about the basement. Talk about the basement and also what the search dogs have investigated.
Okay, so they're search SAR, search and rescue scent dogs. There's two different kinds. There's open air, and then there's nose to ground scent dogs, and cadaver dogs have covered that property. I said 7 times in the beginning, but Candace said no, more like 9 to 11 times they had come back up there, and that's the feds, TBI, Hawkins County, and then the other searcher. They were up there all the time. Now the basement, I didn't even know this. I don't root cellar basement. It only runs under half of that gray shed with the siding on it up on the top of the hill of the Wells property. And I wasn't even aware that this area of that shed existed till almost November of last year, and that's because Candace told me about it, and then I forgot about it. This is how this, like you said just a minute ago, we've always went against the flow and tried to look here and not go with just public opinion, because that can get you in trouble very quickly, to always just
Message audio.
sorry.
And John Davis, True Crime, is here. Hi, John. He makes a good point. People don't like people who neglect the children, and he's talking about the Wells. And
That's
yeah, we're
true.
not taking anything away from the fact
Oh
that the
my
boys were removed. I'm not here to be an apologist for the Wells. Neither are Kim and Alli. We're just here trying to look at some other things that have come up and just to follow the different leads. So that's a great point, John. Thanks for so much for taking the time to pop on and say hi and bring and alert everybody to that. Because if you guys know this channel, we're not apologists for the Wells household. There's
a lot of things too that was misinformation. There's a lot of things that have been said about the Wells home that is absolutely not true. Yes, it was not the best. They were not the best housekeepers. It was not a very well built house, but they, the things about that they didn't feed the kids, and they only did this and that. We saw Candace cook multiple times. She had food. This is early on. A freezer food from that's been in there a while. You can tell. We saw those, and I was like, that's another thing. When it's true, we would say, yeah, that's not accurate. Now here's why it isn't. Now, yes, we're not taking up for them, but it's also not fair to just go on somebody's opinion or what they, somebody that's never been there because they want to say that's, well, this is why, because I feel like that. That's a fact because I want it to be. That's not fair. So if
Right.
you're there and you can see it and you can say, well, no, that's not exactly accurate. Also, people don't like to hear that either. But so we've we've always took the that stance. We knew we're not going to be favored or more or less, but in Candace and Dawn, we came in very early and said we're going to go where the evidence goes. That's where we go. And he's Dawn said, well, that's what we want you. That's what you're supposed to do. I don't know if people have heard. We also we're told not to come back on that property six, seven times. But then they by the end of that night they're calling, begging us to come back up there.
Acting like nothing ever happened.
Y'all are acting like it never happened because I'm not going to always say things that are favorable to them. And but if people follow us, they know we've put it out there, everything that's happened through that. But about the shed with the basement, I actually went up there to be able to film it in February of this year, and Candace said that I could not film anything, leave my camera and phone and everything in the vehicle, which is very strange because she was always open to let us film anything. That's why we got multiple trails leading into that top property.
You guys have really good footage on your channel. If you're just joining us, I'm interviewing Cam and Alli from Crackin Cases. Please subscribe to Reporter Room and give this video a thumbs up to help us with the algorithm. And also, when you're done watching this, you're probably going to want to go and check out Cam and Alli's videos, because they do have really unique footage that nobody else has of 110 Ben Hill Road. And they also have footage of some of the surrounding areas. So it's really, really helpful. So the day that Summer disappeared, we know that they called law enforcement sometime around 6:30. The 911 tapes have not been released. We have heard the dispatch of 911. So why do you think Don Wells went straight to what he calls the funky shed instead of going up to the house that day when he came home from work?
Go ahead, Alli.
My best guess would be that he probably knew that Summer had wandered, away before. That's just my opinion from what we've heard. I don't know that for fact because Dawn and Candace have always denied that she did that. I feel like she had probably wandered down there before because they were used to going down that hill and playing. Even when we were there, when we filmed that trail, there was toys down the side of that little pathway going to the bottom property where that shed is.
The boys traveled that area to go down to that lower part.
Right.
Okay.
And
so that was a place that the kids frequented.
Yeah.
Right. And
I'm going to add this. He was on the phone with Candace. They even say, like, I was weird. I was able to have service. And from him having service and her up there, they had Wi-Fi. That he was talking, I guess, what she said that she was talking to him on Messenger, Facebook Messenger. And I don't know this, but I've always even tried to think, why would he go down there? Did he know his boys were down there? Because that's where they were when he pulled in with the neighbor.
And Candace had said she sent them down there with a walkie-talkie to look for Summer.
Yeah.
Okay.
And with the neighbor,
the kids were sent down with a walkie-talkie. They weren't just sent down alone off on their own.
Right.
And I'm talking on the day of I'm speaking on the day of 15 when Dawn went by. Like his boys were down there with a neighbor. They call him Blue Roof Don. He's another somebody that lives in the Ben Hill area in the Beach Creek community. But that's where they were, and Don pulls in there and he sees them down there, and that's when he says, "Oh, I already knew that they hadn't found her." So I don't remember his exact words. What did he say? That he knew right then and there.
He knew when he pulled up and he saw the boys and Blue Roof Dawn that he knew that she hadn't been found and that he knew that she had been abducted, I believe is what he had originally.
And is this John Sherfy?
No, this is another one.
There's
another Dawn. Okay.
4 or 5 Dawns that live just on Ben Hill Road, not or frequent Ben Hill Road, I should say.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Michelle After Dark stated this week that she has gone from considering Jodie Sue a witness to a quote person of interest. What did you guys think about this when she came out with that? Because that was like a big switch for her. In the past, she's always been really, big on, Jodie Sue as a witness and has really spoken up for her a lot on her channel repeatedly. But this week she switched. She's a big influencer on YouTube. I don't know if you all follow her, but
Yeah, we do.
what did you think when she made that switch? Did you have a thought on that, Alli, in your opinion? And everything we are sharing with you today, and I'm speaking for myself and Cam and Alli, is our opinion. That's my disclaimer for all of us, and opinions are not facts.
That's right.
Right.
And Reporter Room, we're working to find the truth. We're seeking truth and justice, which means I'm doing interviews with different people. If you're, I'm not here for YouTube drama or anything like that. I really am just trying to follow the facts and to bring out information for you guys, because our viewers are unique and our subscribers understand that we want to find the truth. And to do that, we need to be talking to each other. This whole thing of cancel culture and I'm only going to talk to this creator or that creator,
Right.
that's not right. We need to be talking to each other because we're not here to go back and forth with each other. We're here for Summer Wells, and that's what everybody is in here. We want to keep this case from going cold, and we want to find this baby. And I do think that Cam and Alli, their heart is in the right place. They care about this baby. You can see it in the care that they put into it. So what did you think about her switching? And what do you think led up to that, Alli?
I think that it was probably very similar to kind of how we have been thinking this week, only because, we had never really looked into Jodie Sue or her family as being a person of interest. But after the reaction that she had to the information of her son being seen on the Wells property, after that reaction, I think that it just kind of made people look at her more.
Well, Michelle actually came. We did that whole brought the witnesses on, did that live share. Michelle After Dark actually left a comment for the first time, a super thank.
That's nice. Oh, they froze up a little bit. They are having a thunderstorm in their area, and they're back. Okay, we lost the last thing. Michelle After Dark actually came by, and then you froze.
We've never seen her really leave much comment. She left a comment and a super thanks and said, best live I've seen in a long time, and said this was very eye-opening. And I mean, that really, I was like, wow. And she even said it on her video too. I saw that.
I saw that too.
Yeah, I was happy and proud of that, because she does her research too. She's another one that does a really good job. And we worked really, really hard on putting that information together. It's not like I just threw it together. We sit and we try to structure that out and really look into it to be fair about it. So I don't know how else people saw our stance with the Wells. We got a lot of hate over that, but I'm going to do that with every single person, and I'm going to look into every single thing, and I don't care who likes it or who doesn't, because it's for Summer, and Summer deserves that. Summer deserves and I'm not law enforcement, but maybe we can find something. True crime community and social media has helped solve cases before. And if you guys
doubt that for a second, just remember two recent cases, the Gabby Petito case. If it wouldn't have been for Red, White, and Bethune,
that's right.
Having that dash cam video footage of Gabby Petito's van, we may never have found Gabby. Law enforcement might never have found Gabby. And if it wouldn't have been for Sean Paul Schulte, who is the parents of Kylan and Crystal, we might, and he crowdsourced, and Cindy Sue Hunter got out there as a layperson and located that campsite. She found Kylan. She didn't want to disturb the campsite, so she called out the Grand County Sheriff's Office, and then they found Crystal. But maybe they wouldn't have been found if social media wouldn't have gotten involved. So for those of you who are out there who think, I can't make a difference, yes, you can. And you guys being here and being part of this and keeping Summer's case from going cold, you're adding to all of this. And YouTube creators, social media creators, if Nina Angelou wouldn't have come out about what happened at the Mary Piglet with Brian Laundrie, we wouldn't have known about the incident at the Mary Piglet restaurant. And that was the last time that Gabby was seen by a third party alive. So it really can make a difference.
Gray
So,
Hughes. Gray
and
Hughes.
and I want to just be clear, to be fair to Jodie Sue, that creeping around a month and a half after Summer disappeared, it could just be that he was a voyeur or snooping around. We don't know why he was there. We're just following the facts and bringing you guys all of the information so you guys can make up your own mind. And I do want to talk about voyeuristic disorder, which is just a fancy term for peeping Tom, and it is a behavior that occurs recurrently over a 6-month period. So we don't know if there's any other sightings of him on that property or any other complaints from any other neighbors or from anything of that. Do we? Have you guys heard anything that I'm not aware of?
Fred Hill, also that neighbor, he made in his interview with another creator, said that he calls him by a different name. He says Andy Jr. on this interview, and
Okay.
many people have looked into this, and it's been claimed that that's what he's known by down there. He says he sees him in the pool the day before, or right at the time leading up to Summer going missing, sees a 19-year-old boy. He says 19-year-old boy in the pool with Summer alone. He says that. That's that was alarming. So that's I've tried to go back and listen to old everything, because now things are coming together. And like we said, he had permission, and Summer, when actually the witnesses that said they saw him, this is a month and a half after, running around in the woods, told Candus that's who they saw. She said, no, he wouldn't do that. He would just walk up the driveway. But they're like, no, Candus, he did do that. And she's like, well, no, it was, she never reported it to law enforcement either. That was another alarming thing. And these people did it after they found out she didn't. They had to go and report it. So
And
then that was
just to be fair, he could have just been, wandering around or hiking or whatever. I mean, it's a rural area. That's what kids do. So I just want to be fair to everybody. I don't want to. So on June 15th, a 911 came in to dispatch. Why do you think law enforcement has not released the call or calls from Dawn and Candace? They released the dispatch audio, but they haven't released the actual 911 calls. What do you think about that, Kim?
my honest opinion is I believe that we have our in people, we have this on record now. How the Hawkins County dispatches were. I don't know if maybe it is because there was so many different things that were said over the dispatch call that we did get to hear. I don't know if the dispatcher put over the wrong information, like to the officers over the call. I tend to lean on that direction, because we hear a walk, a run.
They had her age wrong.
Yeah.
We don't know if that came from the parents, because we haven't heard that call.
No.
Or either of the calls, or if dispatch was wrong about that.
The law enforcement, if you guys are wondering why I'm not releasing law enforcement information, it's because we don't have any law enforcement information. They have kept everything very close to their chest. They have not released the 911 dispatch call or calls. Don and Candace say there were 2 calls. They claim they both called, but we don't know because we haven't heard the calls. So if you're just joining us, I am interviewing Kim and Alli from Crackin Cases. You're going to want to check out their channel. They have really good footage that shows footage that you may not have seen before of 110 Ben Hill Road on their channel. And also they have footage that shows, thank you so much, Teresita Hills, for that super chat. I really appreciate you. Thank you. They have really good footage of, like, the shows Dawn and Candace's driveway and how that relates to Jodie Sue. Stuff that we just don't have access to. They've talked and interviewed researchers, so there's a lot of good information on that channel, and I would encourage you guys to check it out and subscribe. If you're not subscribed to Reporters Room, please do, and give this video a thumbs up and help me with the YouTube algorithm. So Jodie Sue has been taking a lot of heat this week from things that she said months ago. Why do you think this is coming up now, Alli? Why this week?
I think, once again, because of the reaction that she had with everything that happened. It wasn't only that her son was spotted on that property, but Jodie Sue was at the bottom of that hill on August 1st. She was sitting in her car and she was honking her horn once she saw
in the
one of
driveway.
Right.
In the Wells driveway or in
In
her
the
driveway?
well driveway. That's one key point that I'm saying. This is why we think differently than just and we wouldn't have known this without the witnesses coming on and talking about it. They said not only when they pursued the person that they alleged to be her son, when they pursued him, they get to going down the driveway and they see a car sitting in the bottom of the driveway, and that car starts honking, which is later to be they say is Jodie Sue. And when they run, one sister goes down to talk to her, the other one goes towards the direction that
was following
the man,
yeah,
which alleged to be her son. Now, when they get down there and talk to Jodie Sue, she says, "I was trying to get Candace's attention to her. Somebody was trespassing down here." Well, the other sister comes out to the vehicle, and then the man comes out. Her son comes out of the woods, and they said, "That's him right there." And she said, "He wasn't doing anything. He was checking the mail." This is 3 people that hear this now. Now, this is why
3 people plus Candace.
3 people plus Candace, yeah.
Candace just hasn't spoke on it. She's not been, on YouTube recently.
But still, that's the part that's more compelling. Is, are you alerting their property? That's why we showed that when you stated that at the beginning. That's why we showed the distance between that mailbox, the Wells mailbox. You can't even see there. That's nowhere near, and that's on the opposite. Jodie Sue's property is on the other side of Ben Hill,
right
around the curve. Why are you down here?
You definitely want to look at that footage because it does prove that you don't really see her driveway from the other driveway. You can't see her mailbox from the Wells driveway. So that's really interesting. And just to be clear, we're not saying that Jodie Sue did anything. We're just bringing out some stuff, and I'm just trying to find out why this is coming out now, and just trying to go back and review the information. We're simply trying to get to the bottom of a lot of questions that a lot of people have on YouTube right now. If you're just joining me, I'm interviewing Crackin Cases, Kim and Alli. They have a YouTube channel. You definitely will want to check it out. They have unique footage of the Wells property at 110 Ben Hill Road. And they also have information with video footage from different searchers, and they even brought a search dog person on and interviewed them too. So
she's
it's
in your chat, actually.
She's in your chat.
She's in your chat.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
Hello.
And she's been saying the whole thing about
Thank you, Versi Dorset, for the super sticker. Sorry, y'all. Go ahead.
Oh, you're fine. How the search dog had, out of Jodie Sue's own mouth, had alerted on her feet. That is a big red flag that was missed earlier on.
Right. Good point, you guys. Okay, so Sheriff Lawson says everyone is still a suspect. He hasn't ruled out anyone. He hasn't said this person. He hasn't. And I think but what he means by suspect is probably person of interest. But what do you think about that, Alli?
I've always been kind of confused with the way that he said it, because he has said that, everybody is still a person of interest. Or, well, no, he said everybody is still a suspect. There are no persons of interest. So I don't know. I don't know if that means that, they don't have anything pointing to anybody to make them a person of interest. And so they're still just looking at everybody. That
was kind of said backward.
Right. Or if he meant to say it the other way, but I don't know.
Yeah. You go ahead. Sorry.
Go ahead, Kim. I was just going to say, what do you think of what he meant by this?
That's what I actually found this not too long ago on a interview he did with the same reporter that you read from at the beginning of this, Bianca Murray. Mm-hmm. And I noticed that Twitter post that she put out only had 966 views on that, and I was like, how have I never seen this? And he says, and if people want to see that, I have it in the community section on our channel, but he says in July 9th or 20, somewhere in between the 9th and the 20th, he says there are no persons of interest. Everybody is a suspect. So I looked up the difference between the definitions of person of interest and suspect, which kind of is like it should be the other way around. Like they're looking into everybody. Um, a person of interest is somebody that they might just have their eye on. A suspect is somebody who has been deemed to might, to they have something on them allegedly. So I don't know if you just have to look in. I don't have the definitions right in front of me, but I really, I look into it that deeply. I'm like, what does that word mean in full? The definition, and it's a lot. I mean, if you don't know it word for word verbatim, it's something to do, because I'm no expert. I try to learn with people a lot of times. That's, I try to show what I'm learning at the same time as other
A lot
people.
of our lives are like that. We learn right as we're talking about it to everybody else.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot to pay attention to. The wording is very big in a lot of these things,
Mhm.
and so yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That's all I
And
had.
and lead investigator Pruitt, he looked really just like my heart went out to him when I saw him on camera, and he stated that he believed Summer was close by. What do you think he meant by that, Cam?
What can you repeat that last? What'd you say now?
Lead investigator Pruitt stated that he believed that Summer was quote close by when
Yeah,
he talked from the, and this is lead investigator from the Summer Wells
yeah,
case.
Pruitt. Yeah, that was. So what I believe, we've seen in from June 15th to November 30th. That was the gap between law enforcement searches. They come back in November 30th, and they focus their. We actually have footage of that too. Their drone tents set up in the same locations where we were talking about these footprints.
The same property.
Same property, drone tents. So uh,
They
they
were also driving down another road that's on past the Wells house on Ben Hill. That is where the other set of footprints were allegedly located.
yeah.
Just
So
to throw that out there.
yeah, and if they, I he also says in that same interview, we've been through all the GPS data, all the phone data, all this, and found nothing. He's, and then he says it in a different wording, not the very real possibility that she walked away and got lost in the mountainous terrain, but he says it too and puts emphasis on that. So that's why I do believe that they keep, even the third search here on Fields Road got a
Mhm.
little farther out, but and if I might add, there's a reason. There's also people that own property that are the neighbors of the Wells too that own property on Fields Road, right at the area where that picture was taken. I'm just going to throw that in there too. That's another thing that we found through.
And a lot of people are asking in the chat um, if they're, we know that the people that live around the wells have been very generous about letting search dogs and
Yeah,
people come onto their property, and that's very generous because they certainly don't have to. Do you know, is there anybody that has refused, or has everyone just been very, very generous about allowing searchers to come on with the dogs and search?
I can't say for 100% accuracy, but it has been said that there has been a couple of people that did not allow access to their property. Now I can't say that 100%, but that was the word.
That
That
was
That's
what
what you were
was said
told.
earlier
Yeah,
on.
and that was not the word on YouTube. That was the word in that area. So,
Right.
um, yeah, I don't know, but there's people are very nice. The ones we had private property owners let us go in and search their whole property. These are big properties now. Everywhere out there is private property, pretty much. It's old farms,
Right, right.
land that's been passed down through generations. So it's I mean it's a different environment out there, and that's when people go out there for the first time, and I feel the same way about this. It's going to take an army I think if you had an army of 1,000 men and you went every day for a week, you wouldn't get every bit, like even a tenth of that area searched very thoroughly.
And that's one thing, because a lot of people have said, oh, well, if she wandered off, they would have found her by now. Until you are out there yourself and you are in this very densely not populated, densely, just the
Shrubbery and
right.
Yeah,
foliage.
And just how many ridges there are back there. There's so much ground to cover, and not enough people have been out there, in my opinion, to be able to cover as far out as they need to go or every bit of the property.
So in court, this would need to be proved beyond a reasonable doubt, whatever happened to
Yep.
Summer Wells. And so we are just following every avenue. If you're just joining us, I'm interviewing Kim and Alli from Crackin Cases. You will definitely want to check out their channel. They have a lot of really good footage of 110 Ben Hill Road. They also have footage showing the Wells driveway to Jodie Sue's. So I'm subscribed. I would encourage you guys to do the same. Please subscribe to Reporter Room and give this video a thumbs up. Do you believe? So Candace said on a live stream that she wanted to, quote, put Summer on the side because the boys are living. What do you think she meant by that?
You as a mother need to answer that one because
You want to take that one, Alli?
Of course, I can't say for 100% fact because I'm not Candace. I don't know what she would be,
Right.
This
This is just your opinion.
In my opinion, I feel like, she has already had a sister that's been missing for a very long time and they've never found her. I don't know that maybe she's lost hope in Summer being found, or, she might have knowledge. I don't know. But if she's lost hope, at least she knows that her boys are still living, I think is what she's saying. And so she has to try to be strong for them and focus on them. And I don't think, because she told us later after she said that, she said, it's not that I'm saying that I don't care about Summer. She said, I can only say that I know that my boys are still here and I know that I have to focus on them. I also have to focus on Summer, but I know where my boys are, is what she said to me.
That's really helpful to know. Did you want to add anything to that, Kim?
Yeah, I just was going to say, but then we also saw her she said that, I'm trying to think when that was actually quoted. She said that, but we saw her behavior not reflect her actions, wanting to do what she had to do to get her, to see her boys. So, that was things too that we, as time goes on, you are able to see things a little more clear because people, when you first come in, like we're strangers to them, we first come in, everybody, they're putting up a front. They're going to be on their best behavior, everything. You get to see as time progresses through this, how their actions really are and where their priorities really are and all that. And, I feel like, for the first little bit, if you struggle with addiction, you struggle with anything, you're probably going to suffer from that and you're going to have a fall, but it's time to, strap up your boots and do what you have to do for your children. That if you're really
focusing on those boys, you would think that they would have chosen to get some help for their addictions, and that's Dawn and Candace both.
Right.
And I can speak personally. I know that they were offered inpatient treatment, they were offered outpatient treatment, and they turned every bit of it down.
I tried to give them.
We ourselves offered information about some local classes that they could have attended, and they never took us up on it. So
wow.
Yeah.
So you guys have tried, other people have tried to get them help and they've just refused, and you can't help someone that doesn't want to help themselves. Right. You guys really do seem like you have your heart in the right place and you really do care about the kids and you do care about Summer. So why do you think, Kim, that so many people this case has touched so many people, why so many people care about finding this baby? Because we have not let this case go cold. We have, followed the different twists and turns in this case. Why do you think so many people have taken this baby into their heart?
I think it's, from a distance, I can see how people, Summer is a beautiful little girl. Despite they saw the, I want to be very careful how I say this too, but they see, if you're not from this area and you don't live here, people, Appalachia is it's not a very wealthy area. There is people that have money here, but there's a lot of people that don't. So, if you've lived here, you're used to seeing people like the Wells around here. You see that. But I feel like people saw this little girl and saw her, her haircut, and they saw, a bad situation, which I will stand, I'll say it was, and they in their hearts poured out for her, and now that they, her case, it went very high profile, and I feel like even to some of the local, um, I'll say LE and other things, I don't think they really expected it to get as big as what it did, and don't know if they were able to even, these are small town law enforcement. Now the TBI different, and the FBI too. I mean, they were investigating this too, and still are, but Hawkins County is the lead. They are the lead in the investigation as of this date. But yeah, like you said, that they, I just feel like people saw her, and really their hearts poured out, and it's like, regardless of what the Wells did, they're like, she deserves better, and yeah, that's, I mean, that's the best I can answer. I'm sorry, I was kind of over the place, but
No, it's a good answer. I mean, you're speaking from your heart, and that's what we want to know. And what do you think, Alli? Why do you think this case has touched so many people? Because we have not let this case go cold here on YouTube, and we have so many people who, tune in to find out, every day. I check every day to see if there's been any updates on this baby, whether I'm posting a video or not. I still check. And so why do you think she's touched? Why has Summer touched so many of our hearts?
I 100% agree with everything he said about that. And then also just me as a mother, I think that, my daughter, like he said before, our daughter is the same age as Summer. She's 6 now. She was 5 whenever Summer went missing. And I seen a lot of our daughter in Summer. So I think a lot of people have done that as well with their own children.
True.
And it seems like church was a place where that Summer really enjoyed. Like the videos that we have of her in church, she seems like she's happy. She seems like there's joy in her heart. So I'm glad we have those videos, because we get to see more about what Summer's like. So do you think that something could have happened to Summer, like she wandered off, and that Candus and Dawn didn't have any criminal intent, but were really afraid? Because we know from WHL that there was a CPS case open into Summer prior to her disappearance. Do you think it's possible that they didn't have any criminal intent, but when she wandered off, they were too afraid to say and just went with abduction? Or do you think they just really thought that must be what happened? And I'll ask you first, Kim.
Okay, so I have a heart. So through the things that we've uncovered now, I don't, if Summer, if she could, if the law enforcement is leaning in towards the, saying the very real possibility, if she walked away knowing the people that surround the Ben Hill area that are, we've called them out too. There's multiple people that have very questionable background. It's bad. And, what law enforcement has not dismissed abduction. They said there is no evidence to this date that of that, but they are not discounting it. They never said, they said, we're just not going to, we're not putting all of our, eggs in one basket, pretty much.
They've also stated that there's no evidence of foul play as of this moment.
There's no evidence of either one. They say that, and Pruitt says it too. And then he says, so that WJHL interview with him, there's 3 parts to that. People need to listen to all 3 parts of that. This is my thing though. If there's no evidence of it, if she walks away, what if? There's could be anything. Dave Rader also says on Duty Run that I can't even remember the word for verbatim, that even looking into this, she had got dropped back off. He says it.
He said something about that they believed that there was a possibility that she could have been picked up and that she could have been dropped off later.
Yeah,
in the area.
You got to listen.
Yeah. I don't want to speculate on what he meant by that, but that is something that he alleged to.
and so that's why I'm not discounted that either, because if she's walked away and she gets anywhere in there, that's open, with certain parts out there, all it is farmland and road. There's no houses, and you don't see if she's out on this area near. What if somebody, just grabs her, puts her in a car, and leaves? What evidence is there?
Right.
That's what got to look. That's why I say we look into everything. I'm not saying that is what happened. That's just my opinion, and saying that, hey, that's why we question. Now let's also pay attention to that they've never got in touch with whoever drives the red truck. So
Right.
what did
And I
that
would imagine finding a red truck in Tennessee or in
Gosh,
that part of any rural area where people use pickup trucks, that would be like trying to, I can't even imagine how many red trucks there are.
In the last
Yeah.
11 months, we've lived here our whole lives. I've never paid attention to how many red Toyota Tacomas that there are in this area. There's literally one that's at my kid's school every single day. There's one that's at the place that I work every single day that I never noticed until summer went missing.
With ladder racks, because
buckets.
Everybody here is, a lot of, I must not say everybody, but a lot of people here are subcontractors. They have ladder racks on their trucks.
Right. So they need the truck to
yeah.
Or they're farmers and they need the truck to carry supplies.
But law enforcement always said that truck, they were wanting to talk to them as a witness. But again, if somebody knew they were out on that area, witnesses don't run. They would want to come forward and speak, I feel like. My opinion.
And you would think with as much coverage as this case has gotten, in the beginning we talked about, well, maybe the person with the red truck don't know that they're being looked for. At this point, there was Dr. Phil. This case has gotten so large that I feel like they would know by now.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion.
They would have heard about it. It'd be very hard to live in that area or live anywhere in the United States and probably not have heard about this case. So, what is your number one theory? This is just your opinion, but what do you think happened to Summer Wells, Alli? And then we'll hear what your theory is, Kim, because they may not be the same.
Sometimes my theory changes every day. And I'll be honest in saying that. I don't know. I do feel like it is possible that she wandered off. I also do feel like it's possible, like I said earlier, that she, walked outside. She may have even walked, off the property or down to the road or wherever. And then somebody saw her and saw that as a time to commit a crime of opportunity and pick her up. I don't know.
Yeah.
But that's just some things that I've thought about.
And Lady CG says every time she sees an older red Tacoma with ladder racks, her heart just stops. What do you think, Kim? What is your theory?
It could be. This is the way I look at it. I don't have a personal number one theory. Right. I have. Yeah, it could definitely be the parents. It could definitely be the person over across the road. It could definitely be she walked away. There is but the one thing I will say, I can only, I guess, subscribe to this 100% because of the things I've seen in the towards the footprint stuff. I feel like that's the only really, besides the scent, the trail that the dogs alerted on the top of the property that went down, the alleged dog trail, or wherever it exactly was up there that they went down and lost the scent on Ben Hill Road. Besides that and the footprints, I feel like that's it. That's everything that, I feel like that's what we know as the public, at least.
I have felt that might be one of the reasons that law enforcement has not come out and addressed the footprints, is because that might be one of the only bits of information that they even have.
But that, and that's just our opinion and speculation. But that's, if that's what we're going on, my honest opinion too is I feel like there was also more people on that property that weren't mentioned. We found out about Marlena Crawford and her daughter being up there the day, leaving the day before Summer goes missing. We didn't hear about her. Now there was more people too said to be up there. I don't feel like everybody that had frequented that property has been addressed or talked about.
Right.
And I feel like, Candace is scared to say who these people are too, because she shuts down. She don't want to talk about none of that. It's weird. And I'll be honest, it's very weird. So
Yeah.
I feel like that we just don't have enough I feel like there's something more, and I feel like it's not where any of us is thinking.
Right.
That's what my opinion is. I feel like it's going to be a lot weirder
once
when
we find out.
Well, I think you guys are both very kind and tenderhearted. I can tell that you really care about finding this baby. I want to thank Kim and Alli from Cracking Cases. If you're not
Thank
subscribed to them,
Thank
you will want to be, because they have a lot of great information and good interviews on their channel. They also have footage that many of us do not have access to and wouldn't have had access to if it wouldn't have been for their work of getting footage of 110 Ben Hill Road, seeing the school bus from the street, the proximity of Jodie Sue's mailbox to the Wells driveway. And, it definitely has a lot of value. If you're not subscribed to Reporter Room, please do. We are a journalistic true crime channel doing something a little bit different. We are searching out all of the facts to try to get to the bottom of what we think happened to Summer Wells. And, we're going to follow the evidence where it leads. I also want to thank my producers, Energy Shots and Sasha Angel, and our channel members. And a massive shout out to our mods, Sasha Angel and Lady CG. Thank you so much. And thank you again, Kim and Alli, for taking time out of your day to come and share information on helping to find this baby. And thank you to all of our viewers today and subscribers, because you guys have been instrumental in keeping this case from going cold and keeping this case in the forefront of the public's mind. You guys post on Twitter, you post on Facebook, you write comments on social media, and it's keeping the word out there. And, it is increasing the likelihood that we will find out what happened to this baby. We need to find her. So thank you so much to Cracking Cases. And on that
Thank
note,
you.
I will see you guys next time. We have another great interview next week. I hope to see you all there, and I will announce who it is on Monday. Thank you so much to Kim and Alli. I really appreciate your being here. You guys are good-hearted, kind people.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting us up,
Right.
and thank you to our followers for coming over here and showing support.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.